Tim Legler, we had intended to talk Raps, Celtics. We'll do that in a moment. Let's talk about this game, and let's talk about what he just said. Hang their hat on the defensive end. And, I mean, you talked about it before this series started. You could just throw wave after wave at Murray in particular and Denver. How did that play out tonight?
I mean, Denver had one shot in this series against that kind of defensive prowess on the perimeter. Jamal Murray had to be obviously not what he was in that series. A lot better than he has been. He had 3 games out of 4 in this series so far where they have just made his night miserable. It's, you know, Patrick Beverley's a different kind of defender. He's going to pick you up 75 feet, and it wears on you. He's going to fight over every single pick so you never get space. If it's not him, let me hand him off to a guy like Kawhi Leonard, 6'6", giant hands, right? Make up ground, can track guys from behind, get them to the rim. And if it's not him, it's Paul George, another, first-team all-caliber defensive player that it's got all that length and size. And then they also have guys like Harrell and Morris on the perimeter who can switch out and harass you. So it just has been a miserable series for Jamal Murray. And it's tough for Denver because Gary Harris is coming back from an injury. He's not ready. Michael Porter's too young, not quite ready. So in this series, Jokic has been great. You needed Jamal Murray to be better than he's been at 3 out of these 4 nights. He had actually 3 individual games in the last series where he scored more points than he has in 3 games in this series combined.
Wow. Now, this game was largely not in doubt. Denver never led. Right. On the other hand, we saw a remarkable, it's like a Rocky movie, man, just one haymaker after another. And there were some possessions in double overtime where big-time shots were taken and made. And you're, frankly, the best there is, I think, at taking us through how what happened. So show me what you got.
Yeah, you covered all the big plays like in a highlight, but there's some that get lost in the shuffle sometimes of how important they are. In the 2 overtimes, Toronto found themselves in situations 4 different times, down 3 or more. Now, any one of these go differently, there's a good chance they lose the game. And some of it is great decision-making. Some of it is defensive mistakes. And on this one, you want to keep the ball contained here on the sideline if you're Daniel Theis. The last thing you want to see happen is you'll beat you to the baseline and now have to engage another defender here. But that's basically exactly what happens. Now, when you get this far away, right here, Kemba Walker at this point would be better off just running into the lane so he can take up this dive guy, and now those 3 guys can stay matched. But watch what happens. He continues to chase. You get to this point, and now 3 guys are occupied on the basketball, and here's the problem with that. Jaylen Brown sees right here, there's a slip guy. So now he has to try to get around behind. Marcus Smart is very concerned about Kyle Lowry, who's floating around out here. And as you can see, there's one guy left in the corner. And if they just contain the ball on the sideline over there, this pass cannot be made. But look how big this shot is. They're down 3, 2 minutes to go. You miss this shot. Boston scores. It's a 5 or 6 point game under 2 minutes. It could be lights out. Same thing here. Again, down 3. Critical possession, and this is a mistake right here by Kemba Walker. On this pick and pop, right here, when Kemba closes out, it's imperative. You have got to contain this basketball to give Daniel Theis a chance to get back to the lane, and now you can stay matched up on the perimeter. You'd get a closeout there, and you'd get a bump out to the corner. Problem is, watch Kemba Walker. He gets beat to the middle, and now again, it's a chain of events. You're occupying multiple defenders. Norman Powell slips on the perimeter. You can see Jason Tatum's eyes are here. He loses track of the closeout. Perfect delivery, so it's great decision-making on the part of the Raptors. But once again, minute 20, down 3, enormous shot. Not as big as some of the other plays, but, hey, you missed, you go down 5-6. I don't think you're recovering with a minute 20. That happened 4 different times in just the 2 overtimes. Boston was never down more than 2 points until that very end when Powell got that breakaway and won.
And Powell, he took huge threes. Yeah. I just don't know that you necessarily want to have him dribbling it into the ground and taking a 3. That's not really where he excels, but he was great off of what you just showed here. This is a coin flip series. Either team winning would feel appropriate, frankly, given what's going on here. Obviously, Toronto stole that third game, I should say, and now here we are. What ultimately makes the difference in this series on Friday, in your opinion?
2 key guys, and it's the 2 best players for each team. It's Jason Tatum and Kyle Lowry. They're the 2 best players on the floor in this series. Jason Tatum is elevated to star status, I think, in this league, where you can really build your profile if you come through in a big way in Game 7. Now, it doesn't mean you have to completely carry him, but you got to have those moments. And if this game's tight in the 4th quarter, take over the game. And then for Toronto, I said to you before the show, I don't know that there's a player that is more identified with a particular team than Kyle Lowry is with the Toronto Raptors in terms of the way they play. And when you think of that team, you think of his toughness and his grit. He's got to be massive. And if there's one wild card between either team, it's Marcus Smart. He's the kind of guy that in a Game 7, you know he's not afraid. He's very capable of giving you a 4 or 5 three-pointer made game. Obviously, great defense. And he also can make plays off the dribble if that's what it takes. Notice I didn't say Kemba. I'm just going to assume Kemba Walker's better than 5 points in 52 minutes, if that's what it takes. He's an all-star. He disappeared tonight. He has to be much better.
Clearly. But these are two really, really good teams, and they have fought tooth and nail. I mean, that's cliche to say, but you witnessed it. I mean, it was a fantastic ball game, and now we get a 7th game. We'll hear from Fred VanVleet a little bit later. Tim will be back. Actually, no. We're done with Tim?
Saying goodbye to me?
That's it.
Is what it is.
That's it, and that's all.
See you soon, though.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.